Well, you have finally got here. You are listening to the Erskine Music Podcast. Here, by popular demand, we discuss life, culture, Christ, and of course, music. These half-hour broadcasts are perfect for a commute, coffee time, chat, or any other gap in your schedule where you want to put great content. So without further ado, let's join the conversation today, already in progress.
Lifewise Academy is taking the Bible to public school. Is bringing the Bible to the public school. And you thought, wait, hang on a second. Isn't that outlawed? Can we not do that sort of thing? Isn't that illegal? Haven't we moved past that in our culture, in our day, in our time? But I'm here to tell you today, there's something. Okay, if you didn't know, it's kind of like me a couple of years ago. I didn't know about it. I have some friends in Ohio who knew about it and are starting a chapter in Ohio, and so I heard about it. But I would imagine that there would be some people who are watching the Erskine Music Show today who do not know. Have you not seen? Do you not know? Have you not heard of Lifewise Academy? Matter of fact, I'm going to queue up at the beginning of the show what's going on with Lifewise Academy, and then we're going to jump into the tags for the show, and then we're going to jump into our devotion, and then we got Susan and Patrice who are coming on today to talk about the Tennessee chapter of what's going on with Lifewise Academy. Hang on for a great show today. This is the Erskine Music Show, and we started out with a bang today. But let's just get to this. This is amazing. We are back with Lifewise Academy. This is Susan and Patrice. And you guys are about to tell us about some incredible things that are going on, testimonies and stories that you've heard of how this program is changing lives. Go.
Yes. Yeah. So first of all, I just want to tell you too about Lifewise did an independent study, and this program, every time it's implemented in a school, the academic performance goes up, the attendance goes up, the lack of, well, the bad behavior goes down, expulsions go down. Yes, there's nothing negative about it. We've only seen positive. And I think that's just a testimony to what, the Bible and what it teaches actually does do, despite what, there's always a negative narrative and that we're trying to proselytize and like turn them into what we want them to be. That's not at all. We're just teaching truth from the Bible.
Just teaching truth.
Yes.
That's what everybody in a school should be doing.
Yes. And I just love that song you just played, because love is the answer. There's a lot of darkness out there, but we don't have to focus on that. We can just turn up the light. And so that's what we're trying to do with our program. And so we want to teach them about gratitude and obedience and respect and hope and peace. And we just have seen an epidemic of anxiety and depression and things like that. And they don't have a place to turn to, but we're giving them that place, which is the Lord. And so in him are all these things that they're looking for. And so when we've been doing that, I think Patrice will probably talk to on a national level some of the stories, but some of the ones I've seen in our program, there was a little boy who came who obviously had never heard anything from the Bible. And our teacher asked, does anyone know how humans were created, how we ended up here? And he raised his hand. He's like, I think, wasn't it like a garden in heaven that they were planted and picked or something? And she's like, well, oh no, he said a farm. And she's like, no, it was a garden, sort of. So she's like, let me tell you about the Garden of Eden. And so that was the first time he had heard about the creation story. We had, I think, only 4 kids that had heard of Noah and the ark and knew what that was about, which is crazy. I think that's something, maybe it's just my generation or something, but sometimes I think we take for granted that, everybody knows that story. That is just not the case anymore. It used to be one time long ago when the Bible was something we all had in common as a nation. And even if you weren't necessarily even considered yourself a Christian, which most people did in the broad sense, not in the true sense, but people usually knew Bible stories,
Right.
or knew those principles, and that's just not at all the case anymore. So we can't assume that anymore at all. That goes for churches too. I think even
Yes, it does.
sometimes, I think sometimes people in churches think, oh, well, I don't have to explain this story. I don't even have to address it. Like, that's known, but it's just not the case anymore. So, and then another thing was a little boy.
You cooking now. She came, she had a lot of time to think about it. And that break, okay, she's cooking, folks. Just keep cooking.
All right. Well,
You got music for this. Keep going.
You're gonna make a new song?
Go, Susan. Go, Susan.
I know there was also another boy who we were again in the creation story, and when I say story, I don't mean a made up fairy tale. I mean the truth, but what actually happened. But anyway, the teacher had laid it out so the kids could participate and kind of had it like a play, and so all the different characters were acted out by the kids, and so they would actually say what was in the Bible, just as their character. And so a little boy raised his hands like, "Ooh, I want to be Eve! I want to be Eve!" And some of the other kids were like, "You can't be Eve!" And he's like, "Well, why not?" And they're like, "Because Eve's a girl." And he's like, "Oh, never mind." But he didn't know. So I just think that just shows like how important it is that we get those stories out there and really teach these things from the Bible.
I love it. I love every part of this interview and what it is that I'm hearing about this program. And again, folks, don't believe the hype, because there'll be people out there that would tell you that, religion, talking about Jesus, talking about the specifics of the gospel and the Christian narrative, biblical worldview, that's going to be so divisive out there. Religion divides people. And so we don't want our kids arguing all the time and fighting and going back. But don't believe the hype, because they're coming and actually telling you in your face what is going on with these programs and how it is transforming schools. And look, we always knew this. You take the Bible out of schools, you take the Commandments out of schools. And listen, everybody can't just be doing, yoga and all the different crazy stuff out there all day long, because kids would never learn anything. And they would be so wholly confused, kind of like they are today. But putting something that is clarity, something that is truth, something that is foundational before kids that they can build their life upon, that you can build culture upon, families upon, is something that we desperately need. And so,
yes,
Patrice, you want to hit us up with some stories, national stories or personal stories?
Yeah, sure. But first, I want Susan to tell you about the survey that our teacher did.
Now, Susan doesn't preach enough today. She's a woman preacher only.
It's just one more testimony from our program, and but I think it's just it shows how it's really getting the kids to really think. You know which one I'm talking about, right, Susan? Where they wrote.
Go, Susan. You guys have this secret code among yourselves.
It's
It's your show now. I'm gone.
Yes,
It's the Susan show.
Well, that certainly gives a sense of why people enjoy this show. Very engaging, very heartfelt. We will return to the conversation in a few moments, but first, let's thank our sponsors, Life Action Ministries, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and you for all your awesome support. And Holt International. Thanks so much to our partners who make such a difference.
Thanks, Jason. Hi, I'm Dawn.
And I'm Steve of Dawn and Steve Plus. We're a podcast, and if you've not checked it out, I hope you'll do that. You can visit our website. It is dawnandsteveplus.com, or you can find us wherever you get your podcasts.
We do hope that you'll be able to join us, even as you continue to follow Erskine Music. Erskine does such a great job of bringing out topics. They're not all easy.
Right. I love that he'll tackle just about any topic.
He will tackle any topic and invite you to the conversation, which is always a plus, because learning the art of conversation, well, it's much needed.
It certainly is. And he does a great job with those conversations. So, Erskine, thanks for doing that. Thanks for tackling those tough topics. And thanks for listening to the Erskine Music Show.
All right, let's get back to the show. This is where it gets good.
We send out a survey to the kids, and it's basically, like, do you read your Bible? Do you go to church? Let's see. Oh, and if you had a question for God and could ask him, what would it be? And well, there's two stories that I found out just from reading these surveys that we gave them. Was a girl said, no, I don't read my Bible because I don't have one, but I really would love to read one. And so that's another thing we do as Lifewise. We give every single child a Bible. So if they don't have one, they go home with one. And then this, I just thought was such a great question. What that one child wrote was, did Jesus have to die or did he want to? I was like, that's a great question. So we were able to answer that for them. I assume that's what you were talking about, Patrice.
That's the one. Yeah.
Okay.
I just think that because that shows that it's really causing them to think deeply and to ask good questions. So one thing, and Erskine, I just heard that you were a public school teacher too. So you might have had the same question I did about why is it affecting attendance? Well, the kids actually feel like it's a field trip every week for them. And
wow, yeah.
Because not every kid in their class gets permission to go, but everybody that does have permission gets to go on a field trip every week. And we make it so much fun for them. It's not just sitting and singing a song and memorizing a verse and hearing a Bible story. It's active. It's got all the components of a good lesson that you and I were taught to, teach it to all the different learning styles and include all the different things that make a kid learn and remember. So it's taught really well. Our teachers don't have to be certified teachers, but they do have to have some experience with children.
I was going to ask you about that as well.
Yeah, they do have to have 2 years classroom experience. And then we have our own little teacher certificate we give them when they go through some of our own training. But they don't have to have like a teaching license from the state or anything.
I was going to say, is it an alternative certification where they're certified through the state or what?
No, we just have our own program. Yeah. So there's like 3 different levels of teacher certification. So they just go through these 3 trainings but they do have to have 2 years classroom experience just so they understand, classroom management. And like Patrice was saying, different learning styles. We try to incorporate all those different things and help them even with reading skills. We might have a Bible verse that we're helping them memorize, and we might write each word on a different like little card or something. And sometimes we do a scavenger hunt and they have to find them, and then they put them in order. And so that's really helping. And honestly, we have a lot of kids who English isn't their first language. We have a lot of Spanish speakers, Arabic speakers. And so this is helping them get better with their English. And so we're trying to, yes, we're educating and using the Bible as our foundation, but we're not neglecting the other types of learning. We're trying to incorporate all of that. So,
I love that.
Yeah.
I can't see. I've got an LED panel out on my screen, and I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying, is this Tommy or Tammy Lynn? Tommy, or do you know Tammy? Tammy Lynn. This is Tammy. Okay, I can see it. Rutherford County, and she asked this question about dual enrollment in Rutherford County. Is that a thing?
So, hopefully coming soon. Our plan is this coming year, we're starting in only elementary schools. The next year, we're going to add middle schools. The next year, we're going to add high schools. So it'll probably be 3 years from now before we start, you start seeing us in high school, since we're just getting started. But, if more funding comes in and we're just overflowing with money, we can start whenever. So we have so much interest. We can't keep up with the interest, honestly, because we don't have the funds to support it. But I guess that's a good problem to have because, people want it. We have so many people who want it in their schools, but we only have so much we can do at a time. So that's kind of how we're attacking it, is starting elementary, adding a few middle schools, and then high schools in the next year.
All right, folks, get your pocketbooks out, get your phones out, and transfer through PayPal to these folks. They need some support because they need a red bus. They need a big red bus to go around and pick these kids up. I love that. That's the official bus for Lifewise Academy.
I have a little one right here. I don't know if y'all can see it, but that's what it would look like.
Okay, look at that. You came fully equipped today with Legos and toys and everything. All the teaching models and styles today you want to address. I want to ask a question really quickly about AI, because the show that I did yesterday was talking about what's broken in education, learning models, learning styles, all the different things, and then AI. And I kind of nerd out about that anyway, because that literally is going to be the future of education, whether you like it or not. Are you incorporating any of those techniques or technologies in the Lifewise Academy?
Not really AI. We basically the only technology we use is we play a video that links to it, kind of, summarizes the lesson we're doing, which is like a 3 to 4 minute video. But yeah, we're more like hands-on, interactive, having discussions, that kind of thing. Old
school stuff.
Yes, exactly.
People actually talking to actual human beings.
Yes.
Interesting. It'll never work. All right. So that was great.
I did want to clarify one thing really quickly.
Yeah, clarify.
Yes, because
I'm trying to kick you off the show. You still clarifying.
Patrice was just talking about, if they have permission, everybody's invited. But in order to be legal, according to the 1952 Supreme Court ruling, we have to conduct our classes off school property. It has to be privately funded, and we have to have parent permission. So all are invited, but they have to have their parents' permission in order to attend.
Yes.
So, that's
cross
kind of
the T's, dot the I's. And Tammy Lynn says that she's a school board member in Rutherford County.
Oh, hi, Tammy. I do know who you are.
Yeah, I was going to say, she knows who you are. So don't be trying to buddy up right now on the show because you guys need some funds.
Yeah, it's good to see
School
you.
board, take this and talk about it. Obviously, it's helping schools. It's helping these students. And by extension of that, it's something you did not say, but something that we all know is that it's helping these families as well. As these students in these schools get the support and the encouragement that they need, they're going back into their homes and with their families and talking about these things and making a dramatic difference there as well. And so
I have a story about that.
Oh, you got a story? Come on, it's story time on Erskine Music Show today.
Story of a little boy in a different.
And you've been quiet, Patrice. You need to come out of your shell.
Yeah. Okay. It's my. I love to tell this story. It's a little boy named Christian in a different program, and he wanted to come to Lifewise, and his mother said, "Well, why not? Can't hurt anything." But he had never even heard about Jesus or anything, so he went home and started telling his family about Jesus. The teacher invited this is something we can do because we're off campus too. The teacher or a volunteer or somebody in the group called and invited his family to church. The family started going to church, and the mother says, her quote was, "I don't know where we would be if it were not for Lifewise." The whole family goes to church together. Christian became a Christian, and he and his mom were baptized together.
Wow. Come on, let's go.
Yeah. And he was a first grader, I believe.
Well, you probably already know that when you hear that sound, there's music on the way. After all, this is kind of a music show. Sit back and enjoy. All the music can be easily found on your favorite digital distribution channels. Turn up the volume and here we go.
Disappointed I'm not closer to where I thought that I would be. 'Cause I've been counting up the losses that make it hard to dream. Make it hard to dream. Whoa. Fear tried to get me to believe those giants were taller than me. My God is stronger in my weakness, constant. He's undefeated, he doesn't give up when life pulls me down. My God is louder No, he doesn't give up. My God is stronger in my weakness, constant. He's undefeated. He doesn't give up when life pulls me down. My God is louder than their voices breaks through raging noises. He doesn't give up. He doesn't give up. No, no, no. My God is stronger, yeah. Everybody sing it now. Everybody sing it now. Doesn't give up.
First or second, real young. I've seen the video of him. Anyway, his youth leader at church had told the story about Jesus's life, and after he talked about how Jesus had died for the kids' sins, and at the end, Christian told his teacher that he needed to go up and talk to the youth leader. So they went up together to talk to the youth leader, and he said, "Mr. J," or whatever his name was, "Mr. J, I just need you to know that Jesus is not dead. He's alive. Do you
Come
know?"
on, let's go.
And so it really touched his little heart, and he's talking to his friends about it. And then we have another testimony of two little girls that were going to Lifewise, and their little friend had not been allowed to go to Lifewise. So they came back and taught him the stories at recess.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
These stories are transferable.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah, we're not just trying to reach the kids, we are trying to reach their families and in turn our community. So the way, if you want change in your community, it starts with you, and then you reach out to a person in your sphere of influence, and they reach out to the person in their sphere of influence, and eventually your entire community is going to be changed. And so that's really my heart with Lifewise Academy.
Absolutely. Mine too.
I love that. We were part of helping a school start up in Illinois that is a Christian school. It's based out of a church in Illinois. And I would think if you're a pastor, if you're at a church, you have a building, you should be running to find these people so that you can help them out. And like you were talking about, offer your support, offer your copy, or offer, on off days. This is what we're supposed to be here for. And I love the fact that there's churches out there who are doing it, and maybe some who need to just get a little bit of a goad here today on the Erskine Music Show. Get off your rears. Your programs are great, but here's a way that you could reach people in your community. I don't know why my dog is barking over there. I got to go kill a dog real quick, so I'll be right back to the show. No, you guys
hear it, but...
No, we only kill cats on this show. I'm the cat psychologist, as people have noted here. The cat psychologist strikes again. But no, you guys have been great today, and I want to bring you guys back. This is near the end of the school year, end of season 10. Season 11, I want to hear how the progress is going, because I want to track with you guys. And I just believe that there's somebody out there that's probably about to give me $1 million or a lot of money. And so I'm just passing out. I'm looking for people to pass money out to. It's like Brewster's Millions here. I can't spend it fast enough. And, I want to give to Lifewise Academy. And so keep me posted on what you guys are doing, what you guys need. And we certainly have a praying audience that will be praying for you guys. Thank you so much for coming on the Erskine Music Show. Tell all your friends. And thanks for listening to Erskine Music. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
All right. God bless.
All right.
Sorry to cut you off. Make me big. Big head. That was a good show. Lifewise Academy. We started the show by you and I talking about the fact that they're out there, they're doing their thing. People didn't know about it. Now people know about it. If you don't know, now you know. Lifewise Academy. You guys will hear more about that, and we'll be tracking with what it is they've got going on there. And yes, praise the Lord. All of that.
We have come to the end of this episode. Don't miss a final word from Erskine.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being a part of the Erskine Music Podcast experience. To all of our guests that come on the show, and for all of our sponsors, thank you guys so much for being a part of it. And for you who listen to the show, you and I, we make this thing happen. by simply being kind to one another in the comment section and then going as followers of Christ and living this thing out. If anybody needs more information, ErskinMusic.com is where you start, and then all the nonsense starts, all the social media that's out there. But let's go live it out. See you guys very soon.